Mlikota back again for our next episode of Real Talk, where we're having conversations with real people who are creating real things in their life. And today I'm so excited to welcome you to Justin Prince. I met Justin about 6 weeks ago now, but what inspired me so much about Justin is his commitment to creating the best version of himself for himself, his community, and most of all, his family. And I've been following Justin since I met him, and I'm so delighted to welcome you to Justin today. So thank you, Justin, for coming.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What an honor to be on with you. Just love what you're doing and the positive message you're putting out there. So I'm excited to be able to chat with you.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. So what I want to share with the world is you, Justin, and your story, and take us back as far as you're happy to go about what happened, what caused you to take the action that you take today to create the life that you are creating.
Yeah, so my wife and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have 4 kids from 16 down to 7, so bookend boys and then 10 and 12-year-old little girls in the middle. So, I'm a daddy first and a husband first for sure. I'm an entrepreneur second.
Yeah.
I came from my folks got divorced when I was 12. I was raised by single parents. We moved 13 times in those next 7 years from age 13 to 20. I really had no professional background. I was making pizzas at 16. I was lining ditches with rocks for my dad's construction company at 18.
Yeah.
I worked at a mall kiosk, when I was 21 years old, selling cartoon Bible movies out of a mall kiosk. And so I always had kind of big dreams, big goals, had no college education, but I was just looking for the right, trying to find the right opportunities. And one of the things I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, Dad, how do you find good opportunities? And he said to me, he said, you keep doing what you're doing, keep kind of like bloom where you're planted, keep succeeding in the areas that you're in now. And he said, the right opportunities will find you. And that turned out to be true. I tried to become the very best I could become. When I was in that Bible cells, the little animated Bible DVDs, I tried to be the very best I could there. And so what happened is it kind of prepared me for when I was 25 years old. I was introduced to being an entrepreneur and started my first business. And I had some ups and downs. My first business failed, but that it became kind of a springboard. It was almost like, how do they say? They say opportunity is when success meets preparation. Or success is when opportunity meets preparation, meaning you've prepared yourself, the right opportunity appears, and that's how you create success. And that's what I feel like happened with me.
Yeah, and I can see that in Justin, in the way that you communicate and the videos that you're sharing. It is about the taking action and the doing, and I can see that that's then how you've created your success.
Yeah, for me, it's really maybe 3 steps. One is you clarify what you want. Clarity equals power. I feel like a lot of people live a life of reaction and distraction versus intentional creation. They just react to life versus intentionally create it. So one is getting clear on what you want. Second is focusing. We talk a lot about distraction. Like we live in the most distracted time in the history of humanity. We all have our phones and just like, there's just so much coming at us so fast. And so the second thing is getting to a point where you really focus, learn to really laser focus. And then 3 is optimize habits. Because, if you figure out what you want and you focus on it, and then you build the right daily habits or systems or disciplines, the chances of success with that formula are really darn near guaranteed, because you're doing the right thing over and over. Like success can be kind of boring sometimes because it's doing the right things repetitively over and over and over for an extended period of time.
Yeah, those habits. And absolutely, you can see, I feel since I've started creating those different habits, you can just see it because we're all doing habits, whether or not they're leading us towards the direction of our goals or not. They're still habits, aren't they, every day?
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
And deliberate. Yeah, I love that. So take us back, Justin, to your entrepreneurial start, because one of the biggest things that I've been chatting about with so many people and my audience is starting to really connect with now is that it doesn't happen overnight, right? And we go through different emotional experiences to create the life that we're wanting to create. So take us back to those early days for you so we can remember that you're a human too, Justin.
Well, I certainly am. I mean, my first business failed. Man, it was when it failed, I was kind of below zero financially. I was back on credit cards, back on taxes. I was really struggling, and so I at one point moved my pregnant wife and our 2 kids into the loft of my wife's parents' garage.
Yeah.
And I had 2 part-time jobs. I picked up my old job. I went back and picked back up, and then I eventually picked up a second job. What was interesting is this all happened about October. Yeah. And so October and November, and then in December 21st. So this was 4 days before Christmas. Yeah. Pulled up to a mall. It was snowing here in Salt Lake City. Yeah. And the guy who was my manager, I was the number 1 sales guy in this I went back and got my old job back, and I became the number 1 sales guy in 3 months. And meaning for the year, I did it in 3 months. And he calls me and he says, I said, "Hey, what's up?" I was about to walk in to work my shift. And he goes, "I have to let you go." And I go, "What do you mean let me go?" And he goes, "I have to fire you." And I go, "Fire me for what?" Like, what are you talking? I was like, number 1 guy in the company. Yeah. And he goes, "The president of the company doesn't like that you're building something else," because I was building another business. Yeah. In I was moonlighting and building my business. Yeah. And I go, "What does it matter? I'm the top guy in the company. I'm positive when I'm around any of the other employees. I don't ever talk to them about anything I'm up to. Like, what does it matter what I do after work, And he goes, he thinks it sets a bad example, bad precedence. He goes, he said, "If I don't fire you, he's going to fire me." And I was at a stage where I needed those weekly checks. Like I couldn't go months, or whatever, years or days. I needed that. And it was right before Christmas. And so I literally said to him, I go, "Can I go finish my shift?" And on one hand, I was so mad that they had done that, but on the other hand, I needed the cash. And so I look at that now, it was almost like I got kicked out of the nest. It was like the bird just got kicked out of the nest. And I tell people, the bird doesn't trust the branch, the bird trusts the wings. And so I got kicked out, but I thought, I've got to find a way to make this thing happen. And that took me longer than I thought it was going to take me. I think we oftentimes overestimate what we can do in a year, and we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. Yes. I look at my life now, and I wouldn't have been able to design this in my brain, what I'm living now. Yeah. But it also took me, from an entrepreneur perspective, almost 15 years to build. So it was harder than I thought, and it took longer than I thought, but it is better than I thought as well. Yeah, harder than you thought, but better than you thought, and longer than you thought as well. And I think that's key as well, putting the effort in, and it takes time, doesn't it? But when you've got those consistent habits, that sounds like that's been one of the things, Justin, that's really helped you continue to create that. What would you say? So real talk, it's been harder than you thought. What has been your biggest struggle? I don't know. It's hard for me to maybe quantify one thing, like this one thing. But I think probably the hardest stuff is having a vision when you're not living it yet. So it's like projecting out, like it's going to be like this, and it's like I'm going to keep going, and you're doing a ton of activity and a ton of work today, even though you don't necessarily see the fruit of all of the effort. Yeah. So in other words, you're not seeing the benefit yet, but yet you're doing all the work. That's probably the hardest thing. Is just, I tell people that faith precedes the miracle. It's doing all of that work, all that faith, all that energy, all that effort, all that intensity, waking up early, staying up late, believing that you can do it when you're not experiencing it yet, you're not living it yet. And part of what happens, I think, to us is we wonder if we're like an imposter. It's like, like we wonder if, like, who am I, to tell people like we're going to succeed when I don't feel like I'm succeeding yet. We're like sharing a dream that we're not living yet. Yeah. And that was one of the hardest things, is to do that, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, for an extended period of time before I was actually really living this idea that I, had envisioned. Yeah, that imposter syndrome, it takes over. It can take over, can't it? That's right. At what point did that start to shift for you? How did you change that imposter syndrome, or do you still experience it at times? I still feel it, for sure. It's really interesting. Our business now, I built 4 different multi-million-dollar businesses. I have generated over $1 billion in sales, spoken in 20 countries around the world, 20 plus countries, over 1 million people a day on social media, and I still feel it. It's the strangest thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I was doing some interviews recently for some magazines and some podcasts. Yeah. And even though I have legitimate, authentic stuff I can show of what I've done, I still was like, oh man, like, and it's interesting. Some of the top actors in the world, the top actresses in the world, the top CEOs in the world, they all still feel it too. So it's something that I don't know if it ever officially goes away. You just kind of work through it. But what I think is important for us all to remember is that your voice matters, your individual voice, like not just like someone else's voice, like your voice. And once you start own that idea that, hey, I'm here to add value. I'm here to serve people. I'm here to help people to go to the next level in their life. It starts to allow you to give yourself permission to do it with yourself.
Yeah, that adding value and helping others. And I see that so much through you, Justin, and the inspiration that you give to so many people. Do you think that's something that helps you continue to grow and having that vision for others?
Here's my take on that. Yeah. On one hand, I think yes. I mean, it's so nice when someone says, "Hey, you've added value, or you've helped me, or inspired me, or whatever."
Yeah.
I think that certainly helps. However, I'm gonna do it either way. Like I'm doing it more to like serve and add value. So even if no one ever said that, I still feel like I would still show up and do it. So I don't need someone to say, "Hey, your post helped." I'm going to post tomorrow anyway. I'm going to post the next day anyway. Like I'm going to keep trying to serve anyway, even if I don't necessarily have people say that how much they enjoyed it. Now, with that said, it's nice to know that you're making a positive difference. So in other words, it's good to hear that. But the disciplines that you build, I'm kind of going to just do the disciplines either way,
I love that. And I think that's, I think you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of why I am so inspired by you, Justin, because it's not the external validation that you're looking for. You're serving no matter what. And that's incredible. That's inspirational.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, look, I feel like it's my, basically my duty or my calling or whatever you want to call it to add value, to like serve people. Yeah. And to give back and to, hopefully someone, I one of the reasons I started doing live video years ago or starting doing video in general was because I wanted to mentor me. I'd never actually had mentors. And so I wanted to be the mentor that I never had. And so I feel like that's part of my, if you will, responsibility is to find a way to mentor myself or to mentor that next person that's trying to come up.
Yeah, I love that. Be your own mentor. Be who you're looking for.
Yeah, I ask people a question that I think is a question we should all ask, which is, would you want you to mentor you? Like, do you have habits that you would want your mentor to have? Like, do you have, are you focused the way you'd want a mentor to be focused? Are you waking up early, staying up late? Like, do you have dreams and goals that you would want your mentor to have? And if the answer is no, then don't complain that people don't want to be mentored by you, because you're not showing up yet in a way that you would want to mentor yourself. So I think that's an important question. Like, would you want you to mentor you? Now, I know that we all have, goals of someone bigger than us or someone that's further along the path than us. I'm cool with that. But you also want to be the kind of person that's like, man, I'm showing up in a way where I practice literally what I preach. And if I were to mentor me on this subject, I'd be a good mentor because I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly. And being your own inspiration, because guess who we're around every single day? Ourselves.
That's right.
So hang out with the version you like.
The foundation of success is believing in yourself. And the way to believe in yourself is to keep commitments to yourself. And so it's hard to go out and inspire other people when you're uninspired. I tell people the uninspired can't inspire. So to inspire, you must be inspired. And you have to get yourself first to this place of like, look, I'm keeping commitments I make to myself so that I can therefore keep commitments I make to other people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Justin, can you share with us what's been the biggest epiphany for you? What's been the biggest light bulb moment that's gone on for you?
I think one of them was, so Steve Jobs says that everything that you look around and that we call life, he said it was all invented by someone that was no smarter than you.
Yes.
And I remember when I first heard that and read that and thought about that, that's the truth. Like I remember the first time I wrote a book, it was so intimidating. I'm like, man, I'm not a writer, I'm not an author, all this kind of stuff. And then I sat down and just grinded through it and finished the book.
Yeah.
And then the same thing has happened when I did my first online course. The same thing happened when I launched my first business. The same thing happened when I remember when we did $100 million in sales. I was kind of like, yo, I'm creating stuff in the world, and I'm In other words, like I'm like those other people that were creators that I look up to, but now I'm a creator. Like, and that's what I'd share with all of your audience is that you're a creator. Like you're a builder. We build things. You know, we build people, we build teams, we build families, we build churches, we build communities, we build governments. Like we're builders. We build stuff. All of life, everything you see, all of life, it was all created by people that were no smarter than you. So don't live your life small. You know, like you can build things, you can build your own ideas, and you can, you know, chase your own dreams as well.
Yes, I love that. And it brings back to being human, doesn't it? What would you share, Justin, to someone sitting here watching this today, right now? You know, there's that piece in their gut saying, oh, I hear what he says. Logically, I hear what he says. How do they take action? How do they believe in themselves and do that?
Well, there's two questions. One is how do you take action? One is how do you believe in yourself? Let me start with take action.
Yeah.
Never leave the site of inspiration without taking action. So there's really two questions you want to ask. What's the next emotional thing you can do? And then what's the next physical thing you can do? Emotional is this.
Yeah.
Like, what is the next thing I can do to improve, for example, my attitude, to improve my mindset? Like maybe that you say, I'm going to leave this and I'm going to bring joy to the next person I meet. Like I'm going to have a big smile. I'm going to like give them a sincere compliment. Or maybe you leave this and you say, I'm going to leave this with so much enthusiasm. Like the next person that sees me, because that's attitude stuff. Like this is more the emotional stuff. This is stuff that you can totally control. Like you can control how happy you are.
Definitely, yes.
And then the actions is like, what's the next physical action that you can take leaving this that will move you towards your goals? Because it's like stringing wins together. It's like you do a small win, which leads you to a smaller win, which leads you to a smaller win. All of those combined start leading you to a bigger win. Yes. And you start stringing wins together. So for example, you say, the next physical thing I'm going to do, put my shoulders back, put my chin up. I'm going to look people in the eye. I'm going to show up with confidence. I'm going to show up with strength. The next physical thing I'm going to do is make that next phone call. The next physical thing I'm going to do is go tell my child I love them. The next physical thing I'm going to do is go give my wife a hug. Like, what's that next physical action that you can take? The next book that you can read? Like, what's the next physical, that tough conversation you haven't had, go have that one. Like, what's the next physical action you can do to move your life forward?
I love that. So emotional. So start with us, bring the attitude, and then take the physical action.
Yes.
Is that the important part as well? Doing it there and then?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So listen, your natural human tendency is to have good intentions, but you'll take very little action.
Yes.
And even imperfect action taken with boldness is way better than no action at all day long, all day long. So move forward, take physical action. Like what's the next physical thing you can do? That's how you start creating momentum. Momentum is a secret to life. It's a secret to business. And in my business, we have massive momentum right now. It's just like you can't miss. It's just happening. Like, you can't miss.
Momentum.
And that happens with taking consistent action, but it all starts with the first step. It all starts with the first idea. It all starts with the person that had the boldness and the courage to take the first action. And that's really what I've tried to do, is never leave the site of inspiration without taking action.
I love it. And there's so much action happening at the moment, but the achievements are coming as well. It's beautiful to see what you're creating.
No question about it. It's absolutely magical when that lines up.
Justin, what has been your biggest achievement in your life? If you could think of one, maybe two.
For me, it's my marriage and then my kids, right? And the reason I share that is because I feel like no success that I have outside the home can compensate for failure inside the home. Yeah. And it's not that I'm so proud of my kids' achievements, like what they've achieved or accomplished. I'm just so proud of how good of human beings they are. They're just good kids,
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I have, a healthy and happy wife and marriage and so on. Like, I feel like if I had, all the success in the world, but didn't have that, I would feel really incomplete. So that to me is my biggest achievement, if you will, which is more just, I have really great family and great kids.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that came through to me in the first conversation that I had with you, chatting about your kids and just sharing your life with your kids. I could absolutely see that.
We're super blessed. They came this way and they got a lot of their mom in them too, so that's helped.
Helpful. Justin, what legacy are you going to leave on this world?
I mean, I guess that remains to be seen which one I ultimately leave. What I would hope to leave is someone that really played all out, that really strove to be his personal best. But I believe your legacy is the what and the how. What is not what did you acquire? It's what should you have done with the gifts and talents you were given. So in other words, we all have different situations, different gifts and talents. So to me, what did you accomplish with the gifts and talents you were given? The second thing is the how, which is how did you go about doing it? Like, did you lift people up or did you tear them down? Were you a builder or were you a destroyer? Like, were you someone that left people better than you found them or worse than you found them? Like, how did you go about doing it? Did you treat people with respect or with disrespect? Like, I'm hoping someone looks back and says, look, the guy maximized the gifts and talents he had. He did it in a way that actually, he left people better for having known him or having been around him.
Yeah, I love that. And I can say you are definitely going to leave that legacy. I've known you for 6 weeks and you've already had a huge impact on my life. So thank you, Justin.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to hear that.
Well, you're welcome. So Justin, how do we continue to follow you? If anyone's watching today incredibly inspired by you, which I know they will be, how do we continue to hang out with you and watch you?
So the easiest way is just to go to IAM, so IamJustinPrince.com. And I'll give you you can get my book for free, Change Your World, 5 Steps to Unapologetic Success.
Yeah.
We can connect on all the social platforms on there, but go to IamJustinPrince.com. And I'd love to have a chance to connect with you on there.
IamJustinPrince.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Justin, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I'm incredibly grateful for everything that you have shared here and for the impact that you have created on my life and my family's life, because they're impacted as a result. So thank you so much, Justin.
Oh, you're amazing. Thanks, Lauren. What an honor to be on with you.
Everyone, that is the end of Real Talk for today. So I know there is 1, 2, 3, even 4 things that you can take away from Justin's message today. So go, you can do this, create and live a life that you love. What is one step that you can take today to start to create the life that you deserve, that you're worthy of? I believe in you and I look forward to connecting with you really soon. Thank you. Bye. Hey everyone, Lauren Mlikota here. If you liked this video and want to receive even more like it, then click the subscribe button below so that you can keep updated with regular content that I am posting just for you. So take action right now, click the subscribe button below, and I look forward to connecting with you again really soon.